Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Tonight this topic is out of beauty and stuff like that. I know I have shared this with you all guys before. When Diego Martin was underwater, I'm on the disaster team. So when any disaster happens in Trinidad and Tobago, I am a secondary response, not primary, but secondary response team, right? So I will be in any disaster thing that is happening. I will be called out to work, and right. So that was going back. I'm coming forward now. Today is Wednesday. On Monday, I was going to work. I didn't drive. I traveled. Right. Most work days I travel unless otherwise because of that Valencia stretch. Right. Anywho, I was in a taxi and we were almost to Grandi, and a taxi driver stopped my taxi driver and told him we can't pass the normal route. He has to offload by the Maxi Hub because there's a bomb scare by the bus terminus, where the taxi stand is opposite the bus terminus, for those who know Grandi, right? So he dropped us off. So I am looking around for police officers, and because as far as I know, if you see the thing about it, Trinidad and Tobagonians take it for granted that it's just a bomb scare and it's never going to actually be a real bomb. Because at the end of the day, if it is a real bomb, persons and stores supposed to be evacuated how many feet away from where the bomb is being said it is. And I was amazed to see that taxis couldn't pass on the route. However, pedestrians were passing by the bus stop. I was confused. No, y'all, I was confused because I now pulling out my cell phone to tell my boss I cannot come to work because, well, I'm Grandi, but I can't come further because there's a bomb scare within how much miles from the office, and because I'm looking for barricade and whatever because it's a bomb scare. But people were passing. I mean, guys, one day it's really going to be a bomb and a lot of innocent lives will be lost because the stores were supposed to be closed, people were supposed to be evacuated, but that wasn't done. C'est la vie. I was a little upset and I just sharing my upset with you all. So you all guys know what I mentioned before, that I was in training for disaster last week Thursday, I think it was, in Shogunas, because I did a little haul as well, right? So I'm just here to share with you all some stuff. Now, most of us will believe that a disaster for Trinidad and Tobago will be a hurricane, which could happen, flooding, you know, those kind of stuff, earthquake and that kind of thing. However, we could experience something more major in the sense of tankers pass, gas and oil tankers pass very close to Trinidad and Tobago while they are heading to Asia. We could experience an oil spill, an explosion, and that kind of thing, right? I'm not trying to scare you all, but that's the reality. We could experience that because sometimes even because of the training, I never thought of that. And then he went back to history. We had good presenters. A guy from BP, which BP works with us, and a brigadier from the army. But I'll carry it back to him, right? But I'm dealing with the guy from BP, and he was saying in 1979, the two world tankers collided and it was 5 miles from Tobago's coral reef. So yeah, so I just wanted to share that. It's not just hurricane, flooding and earthquake, because at the end of the day, Trinidad and Tobago has the widest pipeline in the Caribbean, our island, right? We are the largest producers for methanol, ammonia, and the widest scale for LNG facility in the hemisphere, right? Basically, Trinidad and Tobago produces 850,000 barrels of oil per day. 96,000 is oil and the rest is gas, right? So that is the kind of, I just wanted to share, we could have that kind of disaster. And I also wanted to share with you all that you all need to have a house plan. House plan meaning, in the case of a disaster, all right, for flooding, we know as you see the water coming up, you need to put your important stuff on higher ground, your furniture, your chairs, whatever, on higher ground. But beyond that, you should, your important documents, you should be preparing from now. Everything's supposed to be in Ziploc plastic bags inside of a case. I have a lot of them. The sturdy cases, the big ones, like people put like bedspreads in. I have all my legal documents and stuff in Ziploc bags and in that, right? Also, what you need to have, you also need to have 2 months of food supply. Yeah, people, 2 months. And you need to have things that don't require gas or cooking. So, yeah, I know that's difficult because your gas could run out on you. Because we could, okay, like for some people who stoves are electric and cannot work with gas, they're in problems because the country could have no lights and no water, no nothing for 3 months, right? So you have to have probably a ring stove and a backup tank of gas and stock up on cricks and stuff that don't need gas or heat or anything to be eaten. You have to have a plan. Like for me, because I'm on this disaster team, anything happens and I'm being called out to respond as a secondary responder, my family will be taken to a shelter immediately, right? But you have to have a plan, right? You have to know where your community centers are, what schools are available in your community, that in case of an emergency you can get to the shelter as quickly as possible. Yes, the army will supposed to assist, but sometimes people, the roads are impassable and they cannot get to people. So if you're seeing something happening, call ODPM, listen to your radio, whatever, and if they say to evacuate, please evacuate. I mean, a lot of people are going to be saying, why are leaving my belongings? People are going to loot and that kind of thing, and I understand that, but your safety first, right? These things could be replaced. And also for people who live in flood-prone areas, what is we call it county council, but corporation, your city corporation, Tunapuna Corporation, Superior Corporation, Port of Spain, whatever corporation is closer to you and you live in flood prone areas, they give out sandbags, right? But I met a guy on the team, he's from Superior Regional Corporation, and he was saying, you know, in areas that are prone to flooded, they give them sandbags so you could put it by your door and wherever to stop the rise of the water. And he was saying people use the sand as material to help them build their homes and put the cookers bag to put garbage in. You see how Trinidadians happy that when a disaster do come, you don't have the tools, the necessary tools to assist you. So guys, I mean, I'm just sharing the information because a lot of times we don't know stuff and things are available to us, as well as in a case of disaster, city corporation is responsible to get in, fire services, army, but city corporation plays an important role in getting equipment to remove the debris and that kind of thing, fallen trees and that kind of stuff, right? So they are also responders as well. And I'm just taking you back to the brigadier from the army. He was there in 2004 for the Grenada hurricane. What was its name? I think it was Ivan. Yes, Ivan, in 2004. And he was saying, you know, it was really sad because the country had no water for like 2 months or 3 weeks. He was saying that. And it was hurtful that adults were fighting children for water because it had no water. And he was saying, you know, children were fighting back too. So while in the fighting, they're trying to drink how much they can before the adult snatches it for them. So guys, you need to have a lot of bottled water stored in your home in case of anything, because that is most needed, water, right? Not food. You don't really be hungry, you know, you be thirsty quicker than hunger, right? And basically that was it. And we had another man from Jamaica. He went through the Hurricane Gilbert in 1988, September 12th, And he said it was really bad. They had no water for 2 months as well. He said it was really, really, really bad. So I'm just sharing with you guys to have a plan with your family, an escape route at home in case of fire, to get down, where to pass, you know, have food stored in case, you know, just like how we experienced the coup. That was a disaster as well, you know. So I just sharing with you, because I myself, even though I'm on the disaster team, I don't have 2 months supply of food that don't require physical cooking, because I don't eat corned beef. I have tuna, I have cricks, but how much tuna and cricks I could really eat? And cheese, and then you need electricity for the cheese, because the cheese will go bad if it's outside. So yeah, you know, so I need to really come up with a plan and have, you know, and have a first aid. I do have a first aid kit, so you have to have all these things close by, guys. I'm just highlighting, you know. It is a serious thing. Disaster is a serious thing. And you know, experiencing the Diego Martin flood, yes, it was a disaster, but it wasn't a major disaster. You know, when compared to these kind of things that they were speaking about that we could experience, it wasn't a disaster. It wasn't. I know some people may be offended, but I'm saying it was bad, but it wasn't like the big, you know what I mean, like the tsunami who killed so much of people and the floods. So you understand what I'm saying, right? It was bad, but it wasn't the biggest disaster. It was just a little thing for us. And even the Jamaican presenter was saying that. He said that's a little thing. And then what he was saying too, as a country, we don't do drills within our communities and stuff. We should organize, you know, and have drills in case of an emergency. Where is the closest place to go? We're supposed to have a community head that knows everybody in the a counselor who knows everybody, so that if somebody is wheelchair bound, we know to get to that person first. If somebody's hearing impaired and mute, we need to get to that person first, because they cannot speak. So you need to always know people in your community as well who will need the assistance of an able-bodied person, because they are not able-bodied. And I'm going to be rambling, so I'm going to end the video here. If you have any more questions, put it in a comment below and I will see how best I can answer it for you. Yeah, but we are due for more training very soon, and BP is sponsoring us as well. So yeah, I have my since with the Diego Martin disaster, I have my raincoat, I have my boots, I have the first aid kits, and yeah. And guys, if you have a very huge family, a clipboard is very important. But I mean huge. Sometimes, I mean, we live in a society where, you know, we might have a piece of land and our brother living upstairs, then my sister living next door with her family, then next door, you know, everybody in the yard. So somebody should take charge of having a clipboard with everybody names on it, and, you know, tick off everybody's name as you see, so you'll know who missing and that kind of thing. It works, because it works. Everybody's going to be accounted for. You won't be guessing, now was she right there? No, you could account for everybody. So somebody has to take up that mantle in case of anything have to arise, and know the people in your community, know the shelters that you could go to, in like schools and community centers, and have your food made. And that's another thing that I do as well. I'm just sharing. As much as I go grocery shopping, I also list the things on my cupboard. I have a piece of paper and I write everything that's in my cupboard, and I write the expiry date. So I try to use things rather, because sometimes you go to the grocery and everything that's in your cupboard stays to the back and the new things come forward. I don't do that. I bring the back forward and pack the new stuff to the back. But I go by expiry dates and the list on my cupboard door. So that's something you could try. So you know, in case of disaster, there's not something that is expired that you're eating. Just saying, right? So thank you very much for viewing. I hope you learned something new today. If you have any questions, leave it in a comment down below and I will answer as quickly as I could. And if I don't know, I'm going to get the information from somebody else and I will respond to you. So thank you for viewing, guys, and all the best. Bye.